G'day guys, how's it going? It was really sunny last week and now it's pretty overcast. Well, it was kind of sunny last week, but Cyclone Ellen has been downgraded and it rained a whole lot of the weekend. Good for the plants, good for the plants. Anyway, not everyone who cries victim or says they're a victim or is a victim actually needs help. It reminded me when I was doing the talk, last week, about white knights that aren't actually white knights. I had a thought about, there's a picture that I saw where there was a person who was running to rescue what looked to be somebody that was in need of help, a beach scene, and there was what looked like a hand coming up out of the water, but underneath the water it was actually like a monster with a little appendage that looked like a hand reaching out of the water, and that's a kind of clear indication of that not everybody who cries for help, wants help, looks like a victim, is actually wanting help or is a victim, because that's the massive extreme at one end, and quite often a lot of people fall for that. You have a victim martyr that, all the time there's something going on with them. They're always hard done by, everything's all drama, and they never seem to catch a break. And you've got to wonder if it's them. Not in a mean way, not in it as a sort of victim blaming, it's your fault all the time, everything is your fault sort of way, but look at the mindset, the attitude, what sort of responsibilities they take on, and outlook on life. Now, it's a sore topic because there's a lot of things these days about victim blaming, and I believe in more of an apportioned blame thing, because even though things happen to people and bad things do happen to good people, I've seen it a lot, I continue to see it. It's part of it is also what can be done to get a person out of this situation. You can't always help somebody who is in need of help, and sometimes the help you can give them is not really the help that they want or the help that they ask for, but it might be help that they need. And this is the thing, I talk to a lot of people that, particularly when it comes to BDSM and fantasies, that sometimes it might not be what you expected, but it could be much better. Depends a bit upon your outlook in life. But be aware that there are quite a few people who make it their career to be victims, where there's drama all the time, and it's a tricky thing because they're not always, in the typical victim sort of mode. They could be in the martyr mode where they're sacrificing themselves, or they're saying, oh, I can hope somebody can move on and get on with life, but then at the same time they're perpetuating their own situation and they're not really wanting to solve it because they get all the attention from, having bad things happen to them. They get a lot of the sympathy, kind of like a Munchausen's thing, except it's not an actual medical illness that they want the attention for. It's their bad situation. It's their struggle in life, and it becomes a habitual thing for many people. I guess it's kind of like being addicted to drama. White knighters like it. The fake white knighters anyway. The black knights in white knight armour. Your victim martyrs, the ones who are going gold for the victim Olympics. Whether it's a heat in the sympathy division, or in the I've got it worse than you, or the you don't know what it's all about. Oh, everything's so horrible, but I'm not going to tell you anything. I don't have that much of a sympathy for them, and I kind of wonder what they're up to. And a couple of my friends and I have been discussing lately, the truth of the matter is that it's always partway in between the extremes, from one side to the other, or all different sides to the other. The truth is always in the middle somewhere. And going off emotions and feelings is not getting to the truth of the matter or getting, a good bead on the situation. But when you break it down, break out the feelings and go, okay, what are the facts here? These are the facts. It can be a lot more interesting and a lot more insightful. So anyway, there's plenty of people out there who, and sometimes you can fall into that trap where you believe or you think that you get so overwhelmed that you fall into that victim trap. Everyone's done it every now and again, and you feel like you can't do anything, you're not able to do anything. Your mind is set in that mindset of not being able to do anything and thinking that, there's just no way out. There's always a way out, not always a pleasant way out, but there's usually ways out. And there are plenty of people out there, friends, that will help you, provide suggestions, some of which may or may not be useful. But have a think about it, like how in the past have you taken on that victim veil? Have you really been a victim? What has happened? What actions have you done, they done, that had that situation come about? Face up to it and say, well, okay, that's what happened, that made me feel like being a victim. I don't want to feel like that anymore, so what am I going to do to change that? What am I going to change in this situation? How am I going to think? What is it that I can do now? Have you seen other people play this game, this I'm a victim game? Because some people will be that all their life, like quite seriously, they will be like that all their life. And here's the thing, what is it to you is the victim and the mentality, and what have you seen lately? What do you want to see in people going forward? See in yourself going forward? Do you recognize when you're starting to get into that mindset, when things are starting to overwhelm you so that you feel like you can't do anything? Okay? Pretty heavy topic for a Monday, although it may be appropriate for the overcast weather. But I'll tell you one thing, keep safe, storm season. Good thing I cleaned out one of my gutters. I've got like 4 different gutters to clean, and like bruising hands and everything like that. It's not an easy thing cleaning out gutters and washing them out. But anyways, stay safe. Storm season, beware of overhead power lines. Make sure you check on each other. I've done that a few times. Make sure all my friends are safe and they're doing okay, because some of them live pretty far out. Stay safe, guys. Love yous.